Hello? Call the meeting to order, please. We'll have Mark, would you read the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now we'll open the public hearing on the budget. Any questions? You want an oversight of it? We'll have Paul. I don't know if everybody's had the chance to see the budget that wanted to.
Have there been any changes from the preliminary which was described last month?
The only changes were that we put, I think, $5,000 or $2,500 in the equipment fund.
That's the copy I gave.
That's a copy you gave out, so that'd be,
Yeah.
that's in, so I don't believe there's been any changes at all.
There's no changes, the only thing I now have a number for the fire
Fire
district,
department.
which we didn't have before.
Last time it was estimated from last year, right?
Yeah, it's $204,791.44.
Okay, so that's what.
That's a 0.7% increase from last year's fire district budget. So that gives us a grand total of $1,328,983.44, which is a 0.88% increase overall between the town and the fire district.
Any other questions? Yes.
Comment and question. First, I'd like to thank Paul for putting the titles on the accounts rather than just A and B. That makes it helpful. And in past years, the board's been very good at keeping the increase below 2%. Now we're below 1%. I guess that's because Albany put that requirement on the town?
They put the requirement on the town, and this year we were fortunate fuel expenses are, about $30,000 savings in our fuel expenses, so that compensated, and retirement went down, right, Paul?
Yes.
And health insurance did go up a little bit, but not as much as others went down, so that we could increase the equipment fund a little bit and a few more dollars for repairs. And last year we started a building fund, so we, that stayed the same amount as we put in last year. So we've been very fortunate at keeping it, at a minimal increase. And the fire department did a great job too.
They call it a 2% tax cap, but it's actually the lesser of 2% or the rate of inflation. So the rate of inflation was down, so that's why we have to stay under the 2% cap. That's the difference.
But you don't really have to. I mean, you could vote to go over it.
Right.
Yes.
No. Right.
And there's no, other than having to vote, there's no penalty to the town. If they...
There's more paperwork and stuff. There's I think if you don't stay under the 2%, there's some possible, there's something in it that's, you get recognized for not staying under the cap. And it's not, you're not gonna, bust a town by it, but, as long as we can stay under, and I think, Paul has done a good job. I'll give him most of the credit to keep us where we are, and it seems to, we're financially sound as a town. And the building project, what my thoughts are, and I think the board agrees too, what we would like to eventually do is add on the end of the building here and bring the town offices here. The town clerk, the code enforcement officer, the justice, bring them in the one facility. Is what, our hopes are, I guess. Then we, right now with where we are now, we've got, the parking lot we've gotta maintain. And they're not doing as good a job on the maintenance of the building as what they could do. So I think, the sooner, if we can, any way we can, patch it together, get it put together to try to, put the facilities in one building rather than have them spread out. That's what our thought has been, and that's where, some of the, if we didn't have a building fund, which last year, 7,000 of the building fund went for garage doors, which wasn't part of the building, building, but, there's funds there that, are available for maintenance on the building, basically. So that's, and hopefully we can find a means to, Mark said he could fill in the one ditch here and drain it, put the pipes together so we can build out here further to the cell tower to get as much size buildings as we can to, and then improve the parking out there he's already filled in the ditch out here for us. So the parking is better, but I gotta say, this is not part of the budget, but voting night, the ladies and gentlemen thought there should be better lighting on that side of the building. And I think we probably can put, a pole up with a motion light or something on it somehow. Either we could have it on all the time or put a motion light out there, so when people are pulling in or driving around, it is a dark area. Once you get 30, 40 feet from the building, it's dark. So that was one concern the ladies and gentlemen of the poll people had, that, at 9 o'clock at night, it's not fun to go traipsing out so you can't see what you're doing. But is there any other questions on the budget? If not, we'll move to go out of public hearing. Do we have a motion to that effect? Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Well, now we'll go into our regular meeting, we'll have the minutes read. When Dawn gets caught up on that.
October 6th, 2015. The regular monthly meeting of the Franklin Town Board was called to order at 7:30 by Supervisor Jeff Taggart. Present were Garrett Sitz, David Grant, Lisa Height, Supervisor Jeff Taggart, Deputy Highway Superintendent Jamie Archibald, and Paul Warner. The minutes from the September 1st were read. Don Smith made a motion to accept the minutes as read. Garrett Sitz seconded the motion, and all agreed. Ken Walter read the report from the Kellogg Franklin Trust Board of Directors meeting. The financial audit was done on September 15th, 2015, and went well. There was no evidence of fraud or embezzlement. Paul Warner went over the changes to the budget for 2016. The budget's overall increase was 0.45%. It could go to 0.7%. Don Smith suggested that they increase the town machinery repairs budget by $5,000. The board discussed it, and Jeff Taggart suggested that they split the money between repairs and new equipment purchases. Garrett Sitz made a motion that they split the money, $2,500 for equipment repairs and $2,500 for new equipment purchases. David Grant seconded the motion, and all agreed. Don Smith made a motion to accept the tentative budget. David Grant seconded the motion, and all agreed. There was nothing new to report from the rec committee. Regarding the cemetery for the Russian Orthodox Church, they will mark the grave sites and have it put into the deed. Jamie Archibald reported for the highway department they have finished chip sealing 8 miles of road, including West Platner, Snake Hill, Tupper Hill, Cary Road, East Hanson Brook, Christian Hill, and Otego Road. Calcium chloride is done. There's still some brush trimming to do before winter, and the new truck is still on schedule. Jeff Taggart requested that there be a disclaimer put on the Franklin local website that it is not the official Town of Franklin website. Jeff Taggart brought up the issue of how many miles of roads were going to be used in Franklin. It will be approximately 8 miles. The trucks are to use the same roads coming in and going out of town. The town is seeking a $2 million bond for the road use. The companies have to stand behind the road cuttings and borings for 2 years. Jeff has also requested $60,000 for an engineering lawyer fund. Tim Robinson asked if the town had to refund any unused money from the fund. Jeff Taggart said they do not have to return the money. Concerns were again raised about the pipeline and compressor station with regards to health. Also, what the construction hours of operation will be. Jeff will look into the hours of operation. Don Smith made a motion at 8:50 to go into executive session. Garrett seconded the motion. The board returned from the executive session at 9:25. Garrett Sitz made a motion to return the excavator on October 26th. David Grant seconded the motion and all agreed. Garrett Sitz made a motion to sell the 2006 Chevy 1-ton pickup for miscellaneous parts. David Grant seconded the motion and all agreed. With no further business to come before the board, Garrett Sitz made a motion to adjourn the meeting. David Grant seconded the motion and all agreed. Meeting adjourned at 9:35.
Any additions or corrections? On the part where we're putting the 06 truck out, how is that worded again, Don?
2006 Chevy 1-ton pickup for miscellaneous parts.
No, it's a 2001 Chevy pickup truck and
miscellaneous?
parts.
Okay.
Right, Mark? The 1-ton, the 06 1-ton?
And miscellaneous.
And miscellaneous
Not
parts
Ford,
at the
okay.
auto
Is that
car,
correct? Okay.
auto car parts, that's what? I think
Auto
that-
parts?
Auto car,
Car?
It's the brand name truck.
Oh,
right,
okay.
the cab and stuff, right, Jamie, I think that you
Yeah.
brought
Is
it
that
up.
right?
Thought that was never asked.
Like this? Okay. Okay.
Any other corrections or additions? So we have a motion of the corrected minutes.
Make a motion.
I second it. Dave second, all in favor?
Aye.
Passed. Okay. Well, we'll go with, Lisa, I guess, with the trust.
Okay, report from the Franklin Kellogg Trust, or Kellogg Franklin Trust, whatever it's called. Dawn has a copy of what I'm gonna talk about tonight, the minutes from September, and also our new policy and SOP manual. Checking account balance on October 31st was $30,186.45. Morgan Stanley portfolio value on 10/31 was $906,522.58. Interest and dividends earned in October, $2,050.74. The playground in Treadwell was closed for a few days as deficiencies discovered during the first internal inspection were corrected. The annual trust board election took place on Tuesday, October 13th from 6 to 9 at the Kellogg Community Center. Lisa Hike was elected to a 5-year term, replacing Stella Sprague, who retired. Sale of the Treadwell School to the Watershed Ag Council has fallen through. The official reason from the New York City DEP is that Treadwell is not in the watershed district, nor is there sufficient town of Franklin land in the watershed district. Thus, the DEP is refusing to spend DEP funds for any property under these circumstances. We have retained Sonia Johns to do our IRS 1099s. The Unadilla Boy Scouts are not going to be able to replace the playground retention surround. We'll try to contract that out next year. About half of the polycap fence guards are in place. The rest will be done next year. Officers elected for 2016, Chairperson Ken Walter, Vice Chair Dave Tuthill, Secretary Debbie Tuthill, Treasurer Joanna Jones. We have voted to have Lisa Hike replace Stella Sprague as one of our members with check signing authority. The other current check signing members are Jim Carey, Joanna Jones, Jeff Taggart, Dave Tuthill, and Ken Walter. The town board will need to replace Lisa Hike as its representative to our Kellogg Franklin Trust Board after the new town board members take office. Our next board meeting is scheduled for April 27th, 2016 at 6 o'clock at the Treadwell Firehouse. Any questions?
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, how's the rec fund, Garrett, have you heard anything from him? Okay, planning board was last night, and there was interest from Dale McCall about possibly adding land to his property down here by the East City Dam. And then Bob Miller came in to do a boundary line adjustment for Bailey's up off of Stewart Road. And then subdivision off this parcel for flag lot to Butz's, and Bob and May are gonna carry, or keep a 100-acre lot. Bailey, or Butz's are gonna have a 100-acre lot, and Bailey's have got a 50-acre lot, is what it is. But it's up at the others, 350 foot of road frontage on the Bailey property, about 1,100 foot of road frontage on Bob Miller's, and with a flag lot for Bailey's. There's no, it's just access strip going up in, so that's, but they're a 50-acre lot and 200-acre lots, all surveyed. It was brought to the board that no action was taken, it's just what's being proposed when Bob gets together with the other two landowners. That's what happened to the planning board. I guess we can go to Mark.
Yeah, the trucks didn't get put on the internet. That was my fault, but it will get done Monday. I'll get that stuff on, all the parts. And at the 2006 Chevy. I'm working on some other stuff, so. Excavator, I guess it's gonna go back next week. We had extra weeks on there that they gave us, so.
Okay,
So that's
okay.
going back. And then, that, not a lot other than, talk about the stuff, the road use agreement, some of the stuff there or not.
Yeah, we can. We did meet, we went, Mark and myself and Garrett, met with the attorney on October
Thursday.
Yeah, it was last Thursday.
2 Thursdays.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago yesterday. And she brought up a lot of different ideas. The 60,000 is probably gonna be reduced because on there, they want a road use agreement and another term they have, it's, some road use agreement, it's all in one, but this one, they like it in 2 different agreements, which is more for the, your notes, Mark?
Yeah, I got some here. Just stuff to get.
Where you get more money from the other agreement than what you will from the road use agreement, actually, is what she's proposing. It made a lot of sense, the way she explained it, but Garrett and Mark go.
Crossing agreement or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be more, well, we kind of broke it down that, be separated out. This was just some stuff that she sent me. The RUA, road use agreement versus crossings, so there'd be monies, which is still going back and forth, like 45,000 for the RUA, and then so much 40,000 for the crossing.
Right.
And then we're gonna do bonds on both. One bond for the road use agreement and one bond for the crossings. Thought that it was easier to separate them out, and then, major damage, if it's in that, the road crossings, then we can go after that bond that way. Doing it the way that when we were down there and talked to them, doing it this way, it puts more cash in our pockets for use for different fees and stuff versus just going after the bonds. So I think it will work out better. Of course, these guys don't know it, but I met with Alan again yesterday, just to go around and look at some of the stuff. Alan is the guy.
That's the engineer from
Williams.
Or Williams, actually.
Yeah, for Williams, and we just went around and looked at roads and different things, so we added some stuff and a little more to, we're gonna break down the roads the first list we got was for heavy haul. Now, I was more worried about the repetitive stuff. So we broke that down and added some mileage and stuff into that.
Oh.
So hopefully, when they go away and we go out and we do inspections, we go, well, because of 1,000 trucks over a month, that was repetitive. We want to be reimbursed for that because we already had traffic counts, and we're going to do traffic counts once they start, and then we could work off some type of percentage. And we're working on percentages. At one time, it was going to be 50% on surface loss. We got it down to 30%. We believe that they would go for that, and then we're all going to meet again. Be the board members, myself, and the people, or a couple board members, and the people from Williams, to try to get this thing finished up. They've been very happy with what they're seeing out of us. They say we're tough, but fair, so that's a good thing. So.
And we have Delta as had communication with Mark, and we're gonna have a training session for the town employees and town board members and the code enforcement officer on the 19th at 8:30. Is that right, Mark? I think
Yes.
that's the date
Yes.
you gave me.
8:30 p.m. or
AM.
AM. The 9th.
Well,
Yeah.
see, they've gone to
Ninth or
19th.
19th, yes.
19th,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
And he said the ninth.
I don't have my phone, so I'm
I
totally
did?
lost.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
Mark did.
Then it's that time because the guys are on now the 8-hour day, so they're done that much earlier in the afternoon, and to get the training in on regular time. Get it done at that time. So I guess that's where we are with Delta
Yeah, as of right now.
as of right now.
To be quite frank, after talking to him the other day, I'm a lot more comfortable with what they're saying about the load, how heavy they are and everything. You know, the pipe thing was the big thing, and total weight on the pipe trucks with the pipe on there is at 66,000 pounds. That's way under the 80,000.
Very limit,
less than a milk truck.
easily.
It's exactly what our trucks are licensed for, so.
Yours are licensed for 66,
Yeah.
and that's just a 10-wheel, where these are
We'll
probably
have more
18-wheelers.
axles.
Yep.
So should be easier on the road than the town trucks, if they go that weight.
Yeah, and he said it's impossible to try to do different, because what they do is like bottom tier loads 3 pipe. If you go to 4, then they're in a over width.
Width
Yeah,
factor.
so it's they just go 3, 2, 1 on there, and he says that works out way better.
How long the lengths are they?
40.
Okay, so is there any questions for Mark? Yes?
They have a weight on the loads for the pipe that's coated in concrete?
As far as what he told me, that was what it was, 66, the total weight, what I've been told.
Just bringing in one at a
See,
time.
I didn't ask about the concrete because I just read that in the paper. I don't know if that's what they're gonna do with all of it or any of
Any
it.
place it crosses a stream.
Okay, well, we can find out what, if the weights vary, if they
Yep.
carry 6 of the concreted coated ones, or, you know, but they've gotta be under the 80,000 anyway, I would think.
Yep.
So they might have to put down to, I mean, I don't know how thick the coated concrete is or anything, 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches.
Probably wouldn't haul a whole load of them if they were just
Yeah.
work across the stream. They might have 5 lengths of the regular.
Or one of
you know,
them or
yeah.
something, right?
Yeah, but that will be a question that I will ask.
Yep, thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
One of my questions on that if they have a breakdown of, you know, like one of their D8s, sidewinders or something, and they would probably leave it there, fix it there. When it comes onto the right of way, it would come on at their access points off, like down the Wells Bridge, or off the Wells Bridge Road and stuff. So hopefully, and he says that if that by chance has to happen, the first phone call they make is to me, and talk to me about it and where they have to go, because they have to permit them anyways. So.
Any other questions for Mark?